Hey, what's up, guys? This is XRC085. Uh, bring you an update on what I've been doing so far. Uh, I've been taking it slow. I've been making, videos. I've been trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with, what I've been working on so far. Uh, I've been talking to Rockbud43 on what should I do, with my car. He gave me a good idea. He told me to get an aluminum rear end for my speed run over there because I cracked the back end, but I ended up, uh, I had an RPM one that I got, and I turned it into just a regular, aluminum one. So, I mean, I still kept the aluminum plating on it. I just cut some of the parts off, so it looks like it's an aluminum, diff case instead of the other one. Because with what I'm trying to do, I needed to have the space for it, but I want to show you something that I've been doing in my cars. Um, I've been working with suspension wise a lot on this car. I've been taking this car apart, putting it back to that chassis, turning it back. Now what I've been doing is I've been switching it back and forth, not only to see if the car looks good, but to see the handling. Uh, Performances between a plastic chassis, a metal chassis, and what I can do with the adjustments on the chassis itself that I'm able to do so that I can see which is the best handling positions for these shocks to be on, whether it's in or out, camber in, camber out, all that equipment I've been working on this one specifically. My wrestler here, I don't touch because this thing here is perfected. The only thing is that I need more weights in the front because when I drive this thing, it just rattles the front end. That's just skipping the tires off the ground. So I need a couple more pounds on here, which I have, but not gonna put on now. But if you look at here, the Wrestler suspension is usually hooked inside here. I'll have mine on the outside, and then I have an extended brace that goes across to hold both suspension. It gives it a good stiffness to it. It really does. It helps a lot. And when you do speed runs, or if you're, catching air and the cart floats over or whatever, it helps it. And the rear, just regular. Now, when you look at this one, you notice the camber under the suspension is in more. What I did is, when you get your RPM diff case, it comes with these little plastic brackets to hook the cover. What I did is I put them on here to allow my adjustability to go higher. So I have two. One, I can hook it here or hook it here. If I loosen it, I can move the suspension, as you can see, and I can raise the car height. If I wanted to, right there, the car is high. Just gain a couple of raises on the front. Now, if I lower it, you notice how it goes down. See it? If I raise it, I raise the suspension up in the air. If I lower it, it lowers the suspension on the car. I mean, it's a little crooked, but I still gotta work on it. But this is the chassis that I originally had when I had the plastic all around it, and this is the one that I cracked. But I redid the whole thing. I had to shimmy a little bit of here and there because it was off by a couple of millimeters. So anyway, so what I did is I have my motor inside instead of outside, and I did the same thing with the suspension at the rear, except my suspension at the rear is not adjusted like the one in the front. The one in the front, it's a little different. That one this one stays the way it is. I mean, I can adjust it from here to here because I'm not using, I'm using these holes to put the body mounts. I'm not using the holes back here, so I'm using those as adjustability for the suspension, as well as the couple of holes that are behind this or up here if I want to go higher. And it's been working. Suspension seems to be fine. A little stiffer in the rear end, but that's okay. Because there's going to be a lot of weight on this car, and not only that, I have a set of GRP tires that are going on this, and I need that extra strength back here, so it holds those tires up plus the weight of the car. And this is a nice chassis. This is a homemade chassis with an aluminum. I don't know how thick this is, but the aluminum brace goes all the way from here, all the way back to the front. Now the reason why I have this sticking out is because there's going to be a bumper back here. Now my bumper on my Wrestler, this one's homemade, and it does a lot. It kind of reminds me of RPM plastic. It's bendable, but it can take a good pounding. So I know it can withstand hits. So I'm trying to get the same plastic on here and make a bumper that will stick up but not out like the Wrestler, just to protect the rear end back here. And then I gotta add 2 braces where these holes are to help the shock tower held down more. And for that I'm gonna attach to the bumper when I make it or I get it. It's gonna be attached to that. But this is as far as I got on this vehicle. I mean, it's pretty low to the ground, as you can see. You know, it's a lot lower than the Wrestler. A lot lower than that. You know what I mean? So I know it's a good thing here. So I mean, I watch a lot of videos. Like I said, I talked to Rock Buff 43 a little here and there, and he, gave me a little bit of heads up. And I've been watching a lot of his videos. Rivian 3907. I think it's just 3570. No, just 3435.3. I think I've been watching some of his videos, and he's got a lot of good stuff. A lot of these guys have a lot of good stuff, and I take all that ideas and they're putting it together, and then I look at their suspension, what they have, what they don't have, and what I try to do is I try to incorporate everything they have into one package to see what the highest and the lowest of the vehicle that I can get for the right amount of everything, so it works. And so far, what I came up with is the inner suspension, the lower the car is, but the stiffer you have it at the rear, it supports the weight on there. It supports it, especially if you have GRP tires that are kind of low profile tires, like heavier weight at the rear. Plus, I want my rear end to be heavy, not too stiff, but stiff enough, and I want my front to be a little soft, so when the air hits it, it pushes the front down just enough to allow the air to go over and raise the back end a little bit. The motor is going to bog the rear end down, which is the reason why I have it a little stiffer at the rear. I don't want the motor to bug the car down on the ground. I want it to stay. I mean, if it bugs, it'll bug just enough. It won't even notch it. That's the way I want it to be for right now. But this is my update to my car. I still gotta get a body for it. This thing is nice. I mean, I built most of my chassis from the ground up, and I don't have any cutting utensils or anything like that. I just get a piece of aluminum. I find out how strong it is, and get a brace to fit just through the middle to support the front end and rear end. And guess what? You don't need an aluminum chassis real thick. As long as the middle of the plate is thicker than everything else, you're pretty much golden. Thanks for watching, guys. See you at the next update. Later.